back to another weekly mindset, fitness and food video, friends. So each week for the rest of the year, I am going to be bringing you a weekly video based around those three things to help you wade through all of the information that is in that health and fitness, weight loss arena where you might just be feeling a little bit lost. Now, the reason I'm doing this is because when I found food freedom and when I became comfortable with my body after learning the real ways to look after my body, it was because I found a balance with mindset, fitness and food. So now I teach other women to do the same, but because I can only work with so many women at a time, I'm bringing you the good stuff each and every week. So if you haven't already, like and subscribe so then you can get updated each and every time I upload one of these videos, and hopefully I can help you on your journey so that you don't have to feel frustrated, tired, teary, exhausted. You really find out how good being fit, like the real kind of fit, not just like the people you see in women's health, like a proper kind of fit in mind, fitness and body can feel. Because once you know, you know. I always say that to my clients. Once you know, you don't go back. And while the journey is really hard because it's like peeling the layers off an onion, once you do it, you know, right? And because it's basic and it's not restrictive and it's how you can live forever, then it's completely sustainable, and that's when you keep the results for good. So that is the method that I use with my clients. But this week I'm going to cover all three topics because I want to go through with you common questions that I get asked as a PT. Now, this just might help answer some of the questions that you have that you might have been too afraid to ask. But if you ever do have any questions, remain completely anonymous. Just hit me up on Insta. I will never, ever share anything without your permission. So the first things first, the most common thing I get asked, I think because I have a lot of mums in my age bracket that follow me, is how do I get rid of my mum tum? Firstly, I want to say, don't call it a mum tum. We all have a tummy. It's normal to have fat around your tummy because that is where our reproductive organs are, and they store a little bit of excess fat, usually to help us through our reproductive and childbirth years. So it's completely normal to carry a little bit of excess weight around that area. But mums are quite self-conscious when they have given their lives to someone else or family life got busy, and even not mums, right? Because like, if we're talking, I'm not a mum, but I probably would be, by definition, have a bit of a mum tum, right? Like, I don't have low body fat. I want to say I'm a regular 35-year-old, like with a very average body fat percentage. Anyway, so they want to know how they can lose this. Now, the thing is, you can't spot reduce. So no matter how many sit-ups or particular exercise you do, while you can strengthen a muscle in that particular area, whichever area it is you're working on, say it's your stomach, you can strengthen your abdominals. But if you do have excess body fat, if you aren't in, say, a calorie deficit and you're hanging on to excess body fat, you won't see that, you'll have that mum tummy. You won't see that definition that's underneath because there's a layer of fat over it. Now, we don't have a choice when we are in a calorie deficit or when we're trying to lose weight on a weight loss journey where our body decides to lose weight from. We do have a choice which muscles that we want to strengthen. So what I like to get my clients doing is strength training, friends. Strength training is where it's at. You want some resistance, you want some weights, because when we strengthen our muscles, when we give more definition to our muscles and we grow bigger muscles, we actually burn more energy at rest. Okay, so burning more energy at rest is great because if we were to build stronger muscles, right, if we were to do some weight training and ate completely the same, because we have more muscle fibers and that uses more energy just resting on a day-to-day basis, people tend to lose weight. When you combine strength training with a calorie deficit, that is where people get progress a little bit quicker. So it's all about having a good combination of the two. Now, a lot of people get stuck in this merry-go-round of thinking that HIIT training and cardio is the best way to progress if they are on a weight loss journey. I have to say, if you particularly love those types of exercises and that's what drives you and motivates you, I would always say stick with the exercise that you enjoy because you are more likely to be consistent with it. But if you don't particularly enjoy either of those things, like HIIT training or cardio, running, whatever, then I would suggest to you that strength training and resistance training is for you, okay? It also helps a lot of other bodily functions that we have and strengthens our bones. So hit up the strength training, hit up the weights, don't be afraid. It's actually really hard to get bulky. So that is another question I get is, if I lift weights, will I get bulky? It's really, really tricky to get bulky when lifting weights unless you know the correct formula and the amount of repetitions that you should be doing and the weights that you should be doing. So many girls are scared of being bulky, and I find that really strange, because being strong is something to be proud of, right? Because it means that you have consistently worked at something and you are consistently increasing your weights and putting your body under different pressures and stresses to grow a particular muscle group. So when you see those girls in the gym that have those like really amazing strong physiques, they worked really, really hard to get there. It didn't just happen in a matter of 3 months when they were on their weight loss journey, right? It's usually a long period of time. So you're not going to get bulky from lifting weights. Let's just put that one there, right? Another question I get asked a lot of the time is 1,200 calories a day the best deficit I should be in? Or if I eat 1,200 calories a day, will I lose weight? I mean, yes, if it is a calorie deficit, you will lose weight, but is 1,200 calories a day enough to sustain you? That's dependent on the individual and their energy and exercise levels, their genetics, their body weight, their height. There's a whole lot of different things. Your own macros, or the calories that you should be consuming per day, are completely dependent on the individual. That is why there isn't a one size fits all program that works for everybody, right? And that's why it's important to understand your own body type and what your own needs are, because you will need a different set of energy or calories per day if you're pregnant, if you are breastfeeding, if you are 5 foot tall and don't have any muscle, if you are 6 foot and you have really like a lot of muscle. There are going to be different calories that need to be consumed. So I actually don't work on a calorie counting method for my clients. One, because it can not be great for people's mindset. When I introduce calorie counting to people, it is after I've worked with them for longer than 3 months and I feel like they're working towards a specific goal. There are definitely other ways of understanding how to be in a calorie deficit without counting the calories, right? So a lot of people don't have time to exercise, let alone track their food intake, because it all becomes quite overwhelming. Just because you're tracking your calories, yes, it might put you into a deficit, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy, because what you can find is that people might spend all of their calories, if they've worked out how many calories they should have per day to be in a deficit, on really shit, low quality, low nutrient dense food. And while that might get them losing weight, will that necessarily give them enough energy for a good training session? No. Right? So it's all about finding a balance. Everything has its place. Calorie counting has its place. Meal replacement shakes have their place, but it's all about understanding what is right for you. That's why individually you need to understand what you need and then do the right research based on what your lifestyle is, based on like the types of exercise that you like to do. So another question is, why is this so hard? I get that a lot. Like, why is losing weight so hard? And one of the things I have to say to people is that it didn't take you 2 or 4 weeks to behave yourself into a point where you didn't like your body physique, right? It doesn't take 4 weeks for that to happen. That process happens over a number of years. So it's like peeling an onion. It's going to not take a number of years to go the reverse, but it does take time. You have to be patient. And a lot of the times we live in a really instant society and we don't want to be patient with ourselves. We want our body to cooperate straight away. But if our body was just like super angry at us for not feeding it properly and over exercising it like straight away, it doesn't happen instantly. The signs and symptoms we get when we're living an unhealthy lifestyle, they just accumulate over a period of time. And it's kind of like unpacking and decluttering that over a period of time to get back to where you want to be, where the 3 things that I work on, mindset, fitness, and food, are all really, really balanced. Because if you just concentrate solely on your fitness only, but don't work on your food, you can't out-train a bad diet. That is, people think that because there used to be like these stupid memes that would go around and it would be, 2 Tim Tams is the equivalent to 30 minutes of running. We don't just eat 2 Tim Tams and be like, I'm going to go run it off. It's not how the body works, right? It's not. If you are still in a excess of calories for the day, like you've had too much energy, like consumed too much energy for what you're burning off, like you're not going to run off the 2 Tim Tams. Like it's a myth. It doesn't work like that. And one thing I have to preface is it's not a healthy mindset to be like, I've got to burn off my food. Your food is your fuel, right? So what you want to do is just make sure that you don't have excess fuel. There are different types of fuel that you can choose from, and there is a place for everything, but you just don't want excess, right? So it's like overfilling the petrol tank. It's got to spill over. It's got to go somewhere. So that's where it's really important to begin to understand what your body actually needs. It's all about having the right knowledge and doing things for the right reasons. So another thing I often get asked is, can I lose X amount of kilos in X amount of time? That's sort of impossible to predict. There is a formula around how to do it, but is it always realistic and is it always healthy? The answer is probably most of the time no, because people give themselves really short windows to lose weight. And they often resort to drastic measures that are completely unsustainable. They then hit that timeline, say it's 8 weeks, for example. They hit that timeline after the 8 weeks, they've been so restricted that it leads to binging, or they say things like, I've been so good, I deserve this. They use it as like a reward system, and they go the complete opposite way, like completely out of balance. What you want to do is plan for a sustainable weight loss journey using real methods and a way that you can live long term. Okay, that is the real way to stay motivated and on track. And that is why I teach the method that I do in my program, because I want people to do this. I don't want people to need me forever. If you're going to a PT that you need to go to forever, they're not setting you up for success. They're not teaching you the right things. You should be able to go to a PT for a certain amount of time, learn the things that you need to learn, stay accountable to a degree, but learn your own intrinsic motivation, the real reason behind why you want to train, and then either maybe just use them for a little bit of accountability or because you like their fitness programming, but you should be able to go it alone at some point. And that is the way I work with all of my clients. Some of the clients work with me for 3 months, some of it 6 months, but I always hope that they are stepping away and down from the support that I give them, because that means I'm doing my job, right? It's a pretty bad business model, but it means I'm doing my job. And my aim is to help as many women as I possibly can, So all I like to teach you and tell you is that you've got to be patient with yourself. You've got to be patient with the process, because it did not take you 4 weeks to get into a situation where you didn't love your body. It took way longer than that. Okay, so be patient with yourself. Find out 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 things that you can do sustainably long term and be okay with that. Stop resorting to drastic measures because you feel like you're desperate, like juice cleanses and really low calories per day, or challenges. Challenges can be great to kickstart people, but you've got to have the right mentor to get your mindset in the right place. Now, another question I often get asked is, which diet is the best, right? Keto, vegan, no carb, high carb, low carb. The answer is a balanced diet, okay? So I personally, we don't eat meat, right? But that doesn't mean that that's perfect for everybody. Everybody has got their own individual needs, their own values, their own beliefs. So what you want to work on is finding an energy balance based within your own needs, beliefs, and values, and work from there so that you include a whole lot of whole foods, whole unprocessed foods, and that you get a good balance of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins. Right? A lot of people don't understand how crucial protein is to just everyday life and also to their weight loss journey, that they will eat high carbohydrate, high processed, refined foods, stay within their calorie deficit, but then have zero energy to train and zero building blocks for their muscle growth, right? So that's where you've got to understand having a good balance in all 3 areas of your macronutrients, and then all 3 areas of your mindset, fitness, and food, so that it can all comprehensively come together. It's like a big giant puzzle. Now, where people just get really caught up is that they look for that quick fix solution, aka keto can sometimes be a really quick fix solution, because generally people are cutting out the whole carbohydrate food groups. I think even on keto, things like apples aren't really good, and carrots, even though they've got a lot of vitamins and minerals. So if you're cutting out whole food groups and it's not based on a beliefs system like a religion, or if you choose not to eat animals, or you're vegan or whatever, you need to maybe look at whether what you're doing is sustainable long term. Like, do you never want to eat carbohydrates again? Because they're essential for your body, right? They're essential for the functioning of your body. So there is no particular diet that is best or better than everybody else's, but there is also no supplement that can get you there. There is no shake that can get you there, because as soon as you stop doing a shake or a supplement or sticking to a really, really low calorie per day diet, you are going to probably go into your calorie surplus because you don't understand how your body energy expenditure works, and then you're going to go back to putting on weight again and not understanding why, so you'll resort to another short-term fix. The best thing I can tell you is to find sustainable long-term measures, not quick fix solutions, and start learning, get the knowledge, and then get your mindset right, okay? So they are a lot of the common things that I get asked on a regular basis. Another one is often around how much sleep do I need? Again, completely individualized, just like a fitness program should be. All of your fitness programs should be individualized because we aren't all the same people. We're not all cookie cutter. So it's really important to understand what your needs are, what your lifestyle is, and what realistically you can fit in. Because it isn't realistic for a mum of 4 kids to do, a 8-week challenge where she has to cook different meals for her family, she has to cook different meals for her to her family. She has to exercise for, an hour a day, or aka Kim Kardashian preparing for Sports Illustrated. She did like an hour of Pilates a day, an hour workout. Not everybody has that much time, right? So you have to think about what you can realistically fit in, how you can realistically prepare your food within your own budget and your family's needs. And then you have to be realistic about the time frame of your own weight loss journey. And then you have to be patient, right? So those are some of the common things that I get asked on a regular basis. Another one is, should I do a juice cleanse? Now, I'm a bit of a fence sitter on the juice cleanse thing, right? Because I feel like there are some benefits to reducing the inflammatory foods that we're having. And a lot of times people that go on a juice cleanse probably don't have a good understanding of a healthy, balanced diet, and they might have been overindulging one way or another. I also believe that I think that it can have some benefits on giving your body a little bit of a rest and a reset. But would I use it for a weight loss thing? No. Have I ever finished a juice cleanse myself? No. Do I think they're expensive? Yes. Do I think that money could be better spent investing on a coach or a short course on learning how to eat better for a longer term? Yes. So no, I don't think juice cleanses are the way to go. I don't think cutting out different food groups is the way to go. I don't think excessive cardio is the way to go. I don't think restrictive eating and reducing your calories is the way to go. So if you're thinking about any of these measures, please contact me or speak to your own doctor or professional about what might be right for you. And if you are thinking about going on a weight loss journey, research as much as possible. There is so much good information out there. If you want me to point you in the right direction, I can. Or get yourself a coach, one that you can afford, or just starting to really learn about what your body may or may not need by researching and understanding proper calorie deficits. And if you want any good books or literature on any of that stuff, let me know, because I love this stuff. If you have any questions, please hit me up, because I want to, as I said, help as many of you as possible. I know what it's like to not love your body and to not have food freedom and to really worry about if you had eaten that cake last night, and not know, how am I going to possibly burn that off? It's not going for a 30-minute run. I'll let you know that much. So hit me up. I hope you found this video helpful or informative. And if you ever have any questions, just let me know on Insta. You know where to find me, because I'm here for all of it. All right, until next week, my friends, I will bring you another mindset, fitness, and food video, and hopefully help you on your own journey to cut out the BS around weight loss, fitness, and food for you.